comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? It's DK Wrestler here, and in today's video, I'm going to be making a top 5 list of Riverdale Funko Pops. But before that happens, make sure you press the subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, let's check it out. So like I said in today's video, I'm going to be doing a top 5 list of Riverdale Funko Pops because this week actually will mark the 5-year anniversary of when Riverdale first aired its first episode on the CW network. Now, I am a fan of Riverdale. I do have the entire Funko Pop set that Funko made for Riverdale, and it's pretty crazy to me that even though the show is still pretty decently popular as it was when it first started, that Funko has not made pops for this TV series since 2018. But let's kick off this list with my number 5 pick. So coming in at number 5, it is going to be the Funko Pop of the main character of Riverdale, and that is Archie Andrews, of course. I like the overall detail of Archie and the way they did his hair, and especially even though he has kind of a simplistic pose where his one arm is in his pocket and the other's just hanging there, I think it's perfectly fine. I do like the detail also of his varsity jacket where you got the yellow and the blue and also the R logo representing Riverdale. I felt like they could have done more with this pop, especially with the amount of moments that Archie has created throughout the Riverdale series. But at the same time, this pop I'm pretty sure came out in 2017 when the series started, and I remember 2017 kind of being the year where Funko started dabbling into different poses, unlike what they had used to do with just the arms to the side like you see with a lot of older pops. And I think it's perfectly fine here, but I do think they could have done a lot better. Especially they could have had him with a guitar, because like in the earlier seasons he was really into music, so it would have been cool to have him with his guitar. But overall, still a pretty decent Funko Pop. Coming in at number 4 on this list, it is Reggie Mantle. Now, although I like the character of Archie better than Reggie, I do think there is a lot more detail when it comes to the Reggie Funko Pop than there is with the Archie Funko Pop, especially the detail with the football jersey and how you can see on the one side of the shoulder of how dirty it is, which definitely makes sense. Of course, when you're playing football in the field, you expect to get a little dirty when you get tackled to the ground. He's got the football to the side. You got the Riverdale High School logo with Riverdale football on it. He's wearing the shorts. He's got even the cleats. I like the detail of how they didn't just make it look like shoes. They actually made it look like football cleats. I think maybe they could have pulled off actually, even though I feel like I don't remember what position Reggie played, but I feel like if he was playing like quarterback or something, they could have just easily taken like one of the NFL molds and essentially just done him throwing the football over his head like that. But just doing it like this is still perfectly fine. Also, love the detail of the hair also because it does make it look more like Reggie. Coming in at number 3, it is the Hot Topic exclusive Jughead Jones with the Serpent's jacket. I wish I could put this pop higher because Jughead Jones is my favorite character, but there are some flaws to this Funko Pop that essentially makes it in the middle of the list and not essentially at the very top. Although I do feel this may be my favorite pop in the collection, haven't really actually thought about that. I do think that also if the casual like Funko collector looks at this pop, especially if they're a fan of Riverdale, they might not realize until they look at the back of the pop to see that it's actually Jughead Jones. They might think it's maybe like a grease pop or maybe like the Fonz for Happy Days. But I do like the detail of kind of the strands of hair going across the face and it's not totally combed. Obviously wearing the leather jacket is awesome. Once again, I felt like there could have been some sort of pose because you got that kind of arms to the side kind of pose. But once again, it's 2017 when this pop came out, I'm pretty sure. And I feel like also a huge thing is the fact that you can't see the Southside Serpents logo on the jacket unless you are an out-of-box collector, and the majority of my collection is in box, so I'm never really gonna see that Serpents jacket logo, or not Serpents jacket, but like Southside Serpents logo on the jacket unless I take the Jughead Jones pop out of box. But other than that, still cool that they made this variant. They have a couple variants of Jughead because he is essentially the most popular character in Riverdale, realistically. Coming in at number 2 on this list, it is the 2018 San Diego Comic-Con shared to Hot Topic exclusive Josie McCoy. Although I like the character of Jughead better than Josie per se, there is a ton of detail into why this had to make essentially the top 3 portion of this top 5 list. The detail with the ears and the whole outfit and showing that she's a member of the Josie and the Pussycat is really great. I love the detail of the eyeshadow also. You can really tell just by the head sculpt that it is Josie McCoy, and you can look at this out of box and be like, yeah, that's a Josie Funko Pop. And they made the gold microphone, which is awesome. I think my only gripe about this, and maybe this could have made it number 1, is if they actually made it into a 3-pack where it was all 3 members of Josie and the Pussycat. I can't exactly remember the other 2 members' names off the top of my head, but I know that during the first season, maybe season and a half, you did see Josie and the Pussycat a lot. So I felt like they could have pulled off doing a 3-pack, especially because there's only been singular pops for the Riverdale lineup. There's never been any multi-packs, so this could have been a great way to kick off the first multi-pack for the Riverdale lineup. But other than that, the detail of the pop overall is awesome. And the reason it doesn't make the number 1 spot is because I don't have much of a personal reaction compared to my number 1 pick. But before we make it to my number 1 pick, I'm going to be mentioning some honorable mentions. So for my honorable mentions, I do have 2 honorable mentions. Normally I do 1, but I felt like for this case, I needed to have 2. The first pop I'm going to do an honorable mention for is Betty Cooper, because Betty is actually one of my favorite characters. I feel like behind Jughead Jones, she may be my favorite character. I think the only reason she didn't make the list is because it's just a simplistic pose, and essentially it's not Funko's fault for the way they did it. It's just how Betty is. There's nothing really you could have done essentially during the first season of Riverdale that you could have done. But I do like the outfit she has, where it's kind of paying tribute to the original Archie comics, where she's got the crown on her shirt there. And I think they did a decent job to where you can kind of tell that it is Betty Cooper, but at the same time it's not. It's the simplicity of the pop that basically is the reason it did not make my top 5, although Betty is one of my favorite characters. And the last honorable mention for this list is actually the Dream Sequence Jughead Jones that was in like the very last wave of Riverdale pops before Funko kind of stopped making Riverdale pops. I really like the detail involving this, where once again you can tell that it's Jughead Jones. More specifically, you can definitely tell that it is Cole Sprouse, and they're paying tribute to the original look of the Archie comics Jughead Jones with the crown there. You got the Riverdale, not Riverdale, but you got the S shirt on there, which is what you normally see with the original Jughead Jones for the Archie comics. And it looks pretty awesome, especially with the white shoes too. I like the different colors for this Funko Pop. And I wish I could have added all of the Jughead Jones pops to the top 5 list, but I wanted to make it like very different and not so biased towards what I truly like. So I decided that I would do 1 honorable mention for Jughead Jones and then 1 added to the list, which means that the original Jughead Jones isn't even on this list at all. Little spoiler alert right there, but it's still a great Funko Pop. Coming in at number 1 on my list for the best Riverdale Funko Pop, in my opinion, is Cheryl Blossom. I think they did an excellent job for this pop. I love the detail of not only her hair, but the way they used her hair, where it's not just like you see it on both sides, but it's kind of like she moved her hair and like swished it over. And I think that's really cool because you don't see that often with the looks of certain Funko Pops. And of course, I like the outfit of red because she likes the color red. And I love the detail also of her nails with the paint on it and how it's also, once again, red. And just overall, even though once again it's a simplistic pose, I do like that kind of arms to the side because it does make sense for the Cheryl Blossom character and how she could be showing some anger in this Funko Pop, essentially, because a lot of times during even the earlier seasons she was very angry at a lot of people. So it definitely makes sense that she's in that kind of pose to kind of show that she has some sort of emotion going on. And also, if I'm not mistaken, this is actually the most expensive Riverdale pop at the moment at $43 Canadian. I know that's not really that expensive, but it's still the most expensive out of the entire set, with the second most expensive, I think, is that Betty Cooper I mentioned during the honorable mentions portion of this list. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed my top 5 list of Riverdale Funko Pops, make sure you smash that like button. Comment in the comment section below and let me know what your favorite pop is from the Riverdale lineup. And like I said earlier, press the subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching today's video and hope to see you guys next time. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here. Follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at A Funko Popcast. If you want to check out some of our other content that's featured on our channel, you can click either the playlist that's on your screen right now featuring previous episodes of our weekly podcast, A Funko Popcast, or we have suggested a video for you guys in relation to today's video.